Imagine this moment. You glance at the clock, and there it is again. 11:11. Two pairs of numbers standing side by side like silent guardians, like a doorway opening in time. Something inside you pauses. Something inside you knows. You can't explain it, but you feel it. This is not random. This is not coincidence. This is a message, a summons, a call to awaken. Across cultures and centuries, human beings have searched for signs, patterns in the stars, whispers in the wind, symbols hidden in plain sight. But few are as universal, as persistent, as mysteriously magnetic as 1111. Whether on receipts, license plates, digital clocks, or moments of déjà vu, this number keeps appearing. And when it does, you feel a shiver, a subtle recognition. The universe is speaking to me. Let me tell you a story. Long ago, there was a wanderer who had walked for years across barren lands, chasing meaning but finding only dust. One night, exhausted, they collapsed under a sky of silence. As dawn broke, they looked up and saw two shafts of light rising on the horizon, standing parallel like pillars. In that instant, the wanderer understood. These were not just beams of sunlight, they were a doorway. And beyond the doorway was not an ending, but a new beginning. The wanderer rose, and with trembling steps, walked forward into destiny. This is what 1111 truly is. A threshold, a pause between the ordinary and the extraordinary. A signal that you are standing at the edge of awakening, invited to step through into a higher chapter of your story. But here's the truth. Most people ignore the call. They glance at the numbers, dismiss it as coincidence, and carry on. And so the doors begin to close. The whispers grow faint. Life sinks into repetition, days blending into weeks, weeks into years, until the spark is forgotten. To ignore the sign is to risk drifting into sleep. Yet for those who listen, who pause, who feel, who lean in, 1111 becomes a compass, a lantern, a reminder that you are seen, guided, and aligned with a purpose far greater than you know. And if you follow it, your life begins to shift. Patterns emerge, paths clear, synchronicities multiply. You awaken to the truth that the universe has been speaking to you all along. So let's pause together right now. Inhale deeply, hold, exhale slowly. Feel the numbers aligning in your mind's eye. 2 ones beside 2 ones, a mirror of balance, of presence, of possibility. You are not here by accident. You are being called to remember. If you turn away from this message, you may continue as before, half awake, half alive. But if you stay, if you embrace what is unfolding here, you will not leave the same. You will see that 1111 is not just numbers on a screen, it is the architecture of destiny calling you forward. So I ask you, dear seeker, are you ready to answer? Are you ready to step through the doorway? If your heart says yes, type 111 in the comments below to declare your awakening. Type 444 to align yourself with divine guidance. Type 777 if you are ready to embrace destiny. And above all, subscribe, because this is not just a video. This is your journey, your chapter, your transformation. Stay with me, for what follows will unravel the mystery you've been carrying. Together, we will uncover why you keep seeing 1111 and why it was never random. Dear Seeker, let us begin with the first revelation. 1111 is not just a number, it is alignment. 2 pairs standing tall, mirroring each other, like pillars holding open a hidden doorway. Every time you see it, the universe is whispering, pay attention. Something is aligning, something is calling you to awareness. Think about the moment you notice it. Maybe you are lost in thought about a decision, uncertain whether to stay or go, to begin or to end. Suddenly, your eyes catch the clock. 11:11. Or perhaps you are scrolling through your phone, heavy with doubt, when a message appears, stamped at 11:11. In that instant, it feels like an invisible hand reached through the noise to touch you. This is no accident. This is alignment, choosing you. You have lived through countless roles, countless seasons. Parent, partner, worker, dreamer, survivor. Each chapter defined you, gave structure to your life. But when you step into the quiet moments, especially in transitions, you feel something else. A restlessness, a sense that your soul is not done yet. 11:11 appears here, not as decoration, but as confirmation. The path is shifting, and you are being asked to shift with it. Consider Susan, a teacher who spent 30 years guiding children. When she retired, she expected joy, time for gardening, travel, rest. But instead, she felt a hollow ache, as if her life had lost its rhythm. One night, she dreamed of a child handing her a blank book, whispering, "Write your story now." She awoke at 11:11 p.m., her heart pounding. That single moment nudged her to volunteer at a literacy center, helping adults learn to read. And in their eyes, she rediscovered her gift. Her purpose hadn't ended with her career. It had simply shifted form. This is the truth. 11:11 comes as both mirror and map. It reflects where you stand and points to where you must go. It is not asking you to become someone new. It is asking you to remember who you are beneath the noise of titles and routines. The restless tug you feel is not emptiness. It is your soul knocking, asking to be let out. Ignore it, and you risk drifting through this chapter with days that blur, filled with distractions but not fulfillment. Listen, and you begin to see the breadcrumbs. The passions you once buried, the causes that stir your compassion, the small moments that make your spirit feel alive. These are not random. They are fragments of your deeper calling. So let me leave you with a question, a cliffhanger that only your heart can answer. When was the last time you felt truly alive, as if every cell in your body was aligned with the moment? Hold that memory close, because in the next chapter, we will uncover why those moments matter and how the signs you are seeing may be the bridge to your soul's next awakening. Dear Seeker, now we step deeper. The second revelation is this. 11:11 is a mirror, a reflection of your soul. When you see it, you are not simply noticing numbers. You are standing face to face with yourself, with both the shadow you carry and the light you are destined to embody. Think of those moments when the numbers appear during times of struggle. Perhaps after an argument, when guilt weighs heavy. Or in moments of doubt, when you wonder if your life still holds meaning. Suddenly, 11:11 flashes before your eyes. In that instant, it is as if the universe is holding up a mirror, saying, "See yourself," not as broken, but as awakening. Barbara, a nurse for over 3 decades, knew this mirror well. After retiring, she felt invisible, her life's worth seemingly bound to her uniform. Nights were restless. One evening, she dreamed of planting seeds in a garden, only to watch them bloom into stars. She woke at exactly 11:11, tears on her cheeks. That dream and that number were not random. They were a reflection of her deeper longing. Soon after, she began journaling her memories, then mentoring young nurses. She realized her purpose was not gone. It was waiting for her to see it in the mirror of her own soul. This is where the conflict arises. The mirror shows both light and shadow, the joy of what could be, and the fear of what has been lost. The doubt that whispers, "You're too old, too late," and the truth that counters, "You are exactly where you need to be." Most people turn away from the mirror. They call it coincidence and continue in spiritual sleep. But those who dare to look, those who embrace the reflection, find that 11:11 reveals not only who they are, but who they are becoming. Have you noticed how synchronicities gather around you? How the same song plays when you're thinking of someone? How you overhear words that echo your inner thoughts? How numbers repeat as if written across your path? These are not trivial events. They are ripples in the mirror, urging you to see the truth. You are not lost. You are being guided. Yet fear resists. Fear says, don't look, don't change, don't remember. But the mirror does not lie. It reveals both shadow and potential. And every time you see 1111, you are given a choice, to turn away or to look deeper. So I ask you this, dear one, as we stand at the edge of the mirror's truth. When the numbers appear, will you dismiss them as coincidence? Or will you dare to see them as your soul, reminding you of the light you've carried all along? Stay with me, because in the next chapter, we will step beyond the mirror and into the doorway itself. The hidden truth of what 1111 is really calling you to awaken. Dear seeker, we have walked through restlessness. We have faced the mirror of the soul, and now we arrive at the third revelation. 1111 is not just alignment, not just reflection. It is a doorway. Every time you see it, you are standing at the threshold between what was and what can be. Picture the numbers, 11 and 11, two pillars side by side, forming a passage between them. In the ancient world, pillars marked sacred entrances, gateways into temples, thresholds into hidden realms. So it is with 1111. It is the architecture of the unseen, reminding you that you are not trapped in the life behind you. A door is open. The question is, will you walk through? The unseen world is closer than you think. Some describe 1111 as a thinning of the veil, a moment where the boundary between the seen and the unseen grows delicate. In these moments, your thoughts accelerate, your intentions sharpen, your prayers rise more swiftly. Haven't you felt it? That shiver in your spine, the sudden stillness in the air, the feeling that something greater is brushing against your spirit. Michael, a man who had spent decades as an accountant, once described how empty retirement felt, as though his worth had ended with his career. But then, one afternoon, while sorting old photos, he found an image of himself as a young man playing guitar at a community event. The memory lit a spark, a life he had buried. As he sat there, lost in thought, his clock blinked, 1111. He laughed at first, but then he knew it was a door opening. That very week, he joined a local music group and began teaching children. Through their laughter and their songs, he rediscovered his light. This is the truth. 1111 is the universe saying, you are not finished. The door is open. Step through. To ignore it is to remain outside, convinced it was nothing but coincidence. To walk through is to awaken into your destiny, even if the path feels uncertain. Here lies the contrast. The darkness whispers, stay asleep. Distract yourself. Nothing has meaning. The light whispers, awaken. Step forward. Everything is alive with purpose. And 1111 appears again and again, not to force you, but to invite you, to remind you that you stand at the doorway every single time. So I ask you, as the numbers continue to follow you, when the door opens before you, will you hesitate and turn away, or will you take a step into the unknown? Stay close, dear one, because in the next chapter, we will bridge this mystical truth with practical wisdom, how to live this awakening in the rhythm of your daily life, moment by moment, choice by choice. Dear seeker, we now arrive at the fourth revelation. 1111 is not only a mystical doorway, it is an invitation to live differently, here and now. The signs mean little if they do not transform the way you walk through the world. The universe speaks in whispers and symbols, but you must answer with choices and actions. Retirement, or any transition in life, can feel paradoxical. You finally have time, yet the days slip through your fingers. You try to fill the hours, yet something deeper still aches for meaning. This is why 1111 appears. It is not a decoration of chance. It is a reminder that your life is sacred in every detail, and that purpose is not found in the extraordinary alone. It is revealed in the ordinary when you live aligned with your soul's truth. Linda's story makes this real. After years in a corporate office, she stepped into retirement and expected ease. Instead, she found herself restless, wandering through hobbies that never satisfied. One morning, at exactly 11:11, she stumbled across a flyer for a conservation group. Without thinking too much, she joined. At first, it was just planting trees, cleaning trails, pulling weeds. But soon, something shifted. As she worked, she felt a quiet joy rise within her. She began leading group hikes, telling stories of the land. "I thought I had retired," she said, "but I had only just begun to live." This is the practical truth. Your purpose doesn't have to be grand. It begins with what makes your spirit feel alive. It begins with the small, intentional acts of love, service, and creation that ripple outward into the world. So when you see 11:11, pause and ask, what am I thinking right now? What am I feeling? Because that moment is alignment. It is either confirming the thought you carry or asking you to shift it. If you are dwelling in fear, release it. If you are doubting yourself, breathe courage. If you are dreaming, strengthen the vision. Repeat this truth until it sinks deep into your spirit. My purpose is not lost. My purpose is lived, moment by moment, choice by choice. Your resistance will try to hold you back. Thoughts like, I don't know where to start, I'm too old, people will laugh at me. But these are shadows, not truths. The light of action dissolves them. Begin small. 10 minutes a day to write. A single phone call to reconnect. A walk with intention, not distraction. Notice what makes you feel alive. That is the thread to follow. And yes, it will stir emotions. Grief for lost time, regret for years gone, fear of the unknown. But alongside them will come joy, wonder, and the sweet fire of discovery. These are not mistakes. They are signs that you are awakening. So, dear seeker, let me say it once more with the weight of prophecy. Your purpose is not lost. It is lived, moment by moment, choice by choice. And now, a final mystery remains. What if 11:11 is not just about you, but about the legacy you are meant to leave behind? Stay with me, because in the next chapter, the last revelation, we will step into destiny itself. Dear seeker, we have walked far together, through the restlessness of the call, through the mirror of your soul, through the doorway of awakening, and into the wisdom of daily alignment. Now, in this fifth and final revelation, the truth comes full circle. 11:11 is not just about your personal awakening. It is about the legacy you are destined to leave. Every time the numbers appear, they are reminding you, you are not finished. Your light was never meant for you alone. Your gifts, your wisdom, your presence, they are seeds that will continue to grow in lives you may never meet, in futures you may never see. Picture yourself once more at the mountain we spoke of earlier. You have climbed through doubt, through fear, through long seasons of shadow. Now, standing at the peak, you look out at the horizon. The golden light stretches before you, and suddenly you understand. The journey was never about reaching an end. It was about becoming a beacon so that others could find their way. James's story carries this truth. After decades as a mechanic, he retired feeling hollow, as though the best of him had been left behind in his workshop. One day, helping a neighbor's child fix a broken bicycle, he noticed the joy returning to his hands, the spark in the child's eyes. That moment was 11:11, a doorway to legacy. James began teaching neighborhood kids how to repair bikes, tools, even small engines. "I thought I was just fixing things," he said, "but I was really passing on a spark. That spark will live in those children long after James is gone. That is legacy. This is your calling now. Your purpose after awakening is to embody your light so fully that it ripples through time. Whether through stories told to grandchildren, gardens planted for future hands, kindness extended to strangers, or wisdom shared in quiet conversations, every act of alignment becomes a seed of eternity. Science even confirms this mystery. Retirees who live with purpose live longer, healthier, fuller lives. But the deeper truth is not about years added to your life. It is about life added to your years. You are here not to fade, but to shine. Not to withdraw, but to rise. So here is your challenge, your divine call. Do not wait. Take one step this week, one act of alignment that honors your soul's truth. Volunteer an hour. Begin that story. Plant that seed. Call that person. Do not let fear or doubt delay you. Every small step is a declaration. I am alive. I am awake. I am aligned. And hear this as prophecy. You are a beacon, and the world is waiting for your light. Do not hide it. Do not diminish it. Step into your destiny and watch how the universe conspires to amplify your impact. If you feel this fire stirring within, type 777 in the comments below to declare your awakening into destiny. Type 444 to align yourself with divine guidance. And type 111 if you are ready to walk through the doorway, leaving hesitation behind. Subscribe, dear one, because this is not the end. It is the beginning of your greatest chapter. 1111 has been following you for a reason, and now you know why. The numbers will appear again. When they do, remember this moment. Remember who you are. And remember that you were never just seeing numbers. You were seeing destiny itself. Dear Seeker, let us step into the sixth revelation. 1111 is not just a number, not just a doorway. It is a call into silence. And silence, in our world of endless noise, is the most radical act of awakening. Think of how life surrounds you with distractions. News, notifications, endless conversations about nothing, the hum of fear, the pressure to keep busy. Most people drown in this ocean of noise without ever realizing it. Yet when 1111 flashes before your eyes, everything seems to pause. Time itself holds its breath. That is no accident. It is the universe creating a moment of silence, a space for you to hear your own soul. Noise says, run faster, consume more, distract yourself. Silence says, come home, listen, remember. Consider David, a man who had spent decades working in business, surrounded by meetings, emails, constant urgency. When he retired, the quiet shocked him. At first, he filled it with television, errands, chatter. But he kept seeing 1111 on clocks, receipts, everywhere. One afternoon, exhausted by the noise of distraction, he turned off everything and sat in stillness. At that very moment, his clock changed to 1111. In the silence, he heard his heart whisper, "Write again." David had loved writing poetry as a boy. He began journaling, then sharing his words with others. In silence, his purpose bloomed. This is the war you face. Noise versus silence. Noise keeps you numb. Silence awakens you. Every time you see 1111, you are being called to choose. Think about it. When do the numbers appear most often? In those in-between spaces, waiting at a red light, glancing at your phone, drifting into a thought. These are cracks in the noise, tiny openings where silence can slip in, but you must honor them. Instead of brushing them off, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, what is my soul saying right now? Science supports this mystery. Studies on mindfulness and silence show that moments of stillness increase creativity, reduce stress, and even rewire the brain for clarity. Mystics have always known this. The voice of truth is quiet. That is why it is drowned out by the world's noise. But 1111 breaks through, reminding you to return to silence. Here is your practice. The next time you see 1111, stop what you are doing, even for just one breath. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and listen. Maybe nothing comes, maybe only calm, but maybe, just maybe, you will hear a whisper, a memory, a vision. That is your doorway, and here is the deeper truth. Silence is not empty. Silence is full of guidance, full of presence, full of life itself. In silence, you remember who you are beyond the roles, beyond the noise. In silence, you touch eternity. So, dear one, will you continue drowning in noise? Or will you step into silence and hear what has been waiting for you all along? Because in the next revelation, we will uncover something even more profound. 1111 is not only about your life, it is about the collective awakening of humanity itself. Dear Seeker, the seventh revelation takes us beyond the personal into the collective. What if 1111 is not only a message for you, but for all of us? What if its appearance across the globe is a sign of something greater, a rising tide of awakening spreading through humanity? Look around. More people are noticing it than ever before. Online forums, conversations, books, even scientific minds admit a fascination with the mystery of repeating numbers. Billions of clocks flash 1111 each day, but somehow countless souls across the world stop and feel the same tug, the same recognition. This is not coincidence. This is convergence. 1111 is a symbol of unity. Two pillars beside two pillars, not isolated, but together. It is a mirror reminding us. We are connected. We rise together. Think of a flock of birds. At first, each flutters alone, wings beating chaotically. But then, something invisible unites them. Suddenly, they turn in harmony, as though guided by a single mind. That is humanity now. The chaos of the past, the divisions, the fear. Slowly, 1111 is appearing as a reminder that we are one flock, one soul, learning to move in harmony again. Dear Seeker, we have walked through the mystery of 1111 together. We began with the restlessness you felt, the sacred whisper in the numbers that seemed to follow you. We stepped into the mirror of your soul, facing both your shadow and your light. We discovered the doorway hidden in plain sight, the opening that 1111 creates between what has been and what can be. We learned how to live this truth in daily choices, in small acts of alignment. And finally, we arrived at destiny itself, the revelation that your purpose is not only for you, but for the legacy you are meant to leave behind. Now hold this truth close. Every time 1111 appears, it is not random. It is a reminder. It is a signal. It is the universe tapping you gently, whispering, "Stay awake, keep walking, shine your light." Your purpose is not lost, forgotten, or too late. It has been within you all along, waiting for this moment of awakening. Whether you teach, create, heal, guide, or simply embody love in the smallest moments, your light matters. The world is in need of it now more than ever. If you ignore this call, the days may blur into sameness, the spark may dim, and regret may shadow your twilight. But if you embrace it, if you say yes to the signs, your life becomes luminous. Each step becomes sacred. Each moment becomes part of a legacy that outlives you. So here is your final call to action. The next time you see 1111, pause. Do not look away. Speak it aloud. I am awake. I am aligned. I am stepping into my destiny. Let this be your declaration. Type 111 in the comments if you are choosing awakening. Type 444 if you are aligning with divine guidance. Type 777 if you are stepping into legacy and destiny. And subscribe, because this is not the end. It is the beginning of the greatest chapter of your life. The forest we entered at the beginning still waits, its trees whispering secrets of lives once lived and paths yet to be discovered. But now, you carry a lantern. Now, You hold the map. And as you walk forward, guided by the numbers, know this. You were never lost. You were always being led. The universe has brought you here for a reason. 1111 is not random. It is your reminder that you are part of something vast, beautiful, and alive. And the time to live your purpose is now.